Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Good morning.
Good morning. I think we got a fathead with us today.
Good morning. Oh, guys, you know what today is. It's Thursday. Wednesday nights, the Ratz play.
Friday Eve.
No. It's Thursday. It's Thursday morning. And the Ratz play every Wednesday night, doubleheaders. We've now extended our win streak to 7 games. All thanks to our good friends at Herbology.
Okay, well, congratulations. We're happy for you.
I'm chilling.
Should we clap it up?
Let me tell you.
Cigar.
Let me tell you. Not only did we win.
Now, if you're
have you
going
ever
to do
showed
this,
up?
why you get a cheap-ass cigar?
Didn't have time this morning. Leave me alone, Terry.
Again, you're
Trying to enjoy
sitting
myself.
in front of an Italian goddess who has her own
Italian
humidor.
goddess. Wow, you boy, don't you think high of yourself. Holy shit. Oh my God. Fish, mute her mic.
I have a humidor at home full of cigars, and I have a pack of
Should've
cigars
asked.
of Macanudos in the
All
car.
good, all good. Let me enjoy myself
Just saying.
for a second.
How can you
Shout out to
enjoy
the
yourself
individuals.
with cheap stuff?
That's what I said.
You guys are.
It's like I have a big victory, so instead of having champagne, I'll drink Kool-Aid. How's
Yeah.
that rewarding?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's not
think you're
very
being
rewarding,
dramatic here.
Adam.
Fish, shut the hell up. Anyways, 7 in a row now. That's 7 wins in a row for the Ratz. We mashed yesterday. I think we won, 23-11 and then 18-1. By the way, to all these, what you see on screen, obviously me on the left side with the boys, but on the right side, our best hitter took the picture. And he doesn't know how to take a goddamn picture. I don't know how you forget or not know how to take a clear selfie. Like, is it really hard to take a selfie?
Well, it's at night, though. So
He
that's
can
going to
see
make it a
on the
little
camera,
difficult.
Terry. He can see through the camera.
I know, but still, that's
It's
going to
blurry
be...
and it's shaky.
It's at night.
Whatever.
Maybe he was just excited and he was like
Right.
shaky because he's having the excited
He
shake.
was excited as you, but he's thinking, let me go get a real cigar and celebrate this.
Damn, Terry.
Instead
I see
of
how
that
it is.
piece of crap you got.
Hey.
I see how it is, Terry. Anyways, by the way, so we show up to the game last night. Fun story.
Were
we
you
show up to
late?
the game, and the other team, the team that we just mashed, by the way, we embarrassed the hell out of them. They probably shouldn't even play in the league anymore. They were talking a lot of crap. Oh man, we're playing another team full of Arabs. Here we go. Arabs don't know how to play ball. How do you guys score only 1 run in a softball league?
So I didn't
You
know
know
this.
how fucking embarrassing that is?
I didn't
my
know
goodness.
this. When you see a bunch of Arabs playing ball, you figure you're going to win. I didn't know y'all were that unathletic.
I didn't know
Is
either.
that the reputation?
No, I don't know, but look, you can see the score on the screen. By the way, shout out to those 2 individuals on screen, the losers this morning. I also have a special thing to say to everybody on the Herbology team. Shout out to Hassan Saab, Ali Saab, Abe the Crew, Sifu Daher, Mustafa Daher, Imad Daher, and Nasif Daher.
Is this the-
Imad and Nasif, by the
Is
way.
this the
all
other
brothers?
team you're
These are
mentioning?
every person that I just read off they're losers, Terry. They're losers.
Okay, now they thought they're going to kick your ass.
They
'cause
thought
you're
they were
Arab,
gonna kick
right?
our ass.
It sounds like they're Arab too.
They are.
Then how
They
can
are.
they?
This is a Dearborn lead. What do you
This is called.
expect?
Hey,
Terry?
listen. Everybody is racist to their own people. All right. Let's not sit here and act like we're all perfect. All right. I'm not gonna lie. We didn't say it out loud, but when we saw their team, we knew we were gonna win too. We just didn't say it. They decided to say it. We didn't. So they started it. We just finished the shit. So we mercied them the first game and the second game, and again, it's embarrassing. How do you only score 1 run in a softball game? You know how fucking embarrassing. Fish could do a better job than they did last night.
You
Pathetic.
could put together 10 fish and put them on the field,
And they would do better.
score more than 1 run.
I 1000% agree. Moving on. Moving on from the celebration last night. Oh, I had the time of my life. Let me tell you, a bunch of losers. Oh God, Terry, every team in the league is like terrified to play us right now. You know why?
Well, you've won
Because
7
of
in a
you,
row.
I would be terrified of you
because
too.
I just wake up the next morning and roast them. And then I get Terry in on the it's a beautiful thing. We got a great show lined up today.
I
Dan
wouldn't listen
Campbell.
to the show if I were them.
I don't blame
I
them
was
if they
saying the
don't,
same
but
thing. Do they watch
they don't
the
have a
show?
choice. They're all in the same group chats as we are, so they're
Okay.
getting it. Terry, 8:15, we got Dan Campbell, Same Old Lions mantra. Coming up at 9 o'clock, I'll reveal my solution to the Super Conference dilemma
right.
in college
We've been waiting
football.
for this for over a week.
So, just to give you a little hint, 2 conferences,
Not 3.
20 teams in both.
Okay.
Could be 24 in the future, but we'll get into detail and why I did what I did at 9 o'clock. We got some Title IX at 9:29. Are the Wings a playoff team at 8:45? So we got a lot of good stuff today. I'm excited.
Good. I'm
I'm
glad you're setting stuff up. I'm proud of you.
Let's get rolling.
Okay.
All right? The first thing I do want to discuss this morning, Jaden Ivey's comments yesterday about playing with Cade Cunningham, the future of Detroit. This was an interview, I believe, with Fansided. Terry, I know you're not supposed to pull too much from an individual's comments,
But we're gonna pull too much.
But how they carry themselves, I think, is super important.
Yes.
I think how you carry yourself as the number 5 overall draft pick in a recent draft is super important. And Jaden Ivey has done nothing but give me reasons and I would say samples of, oh, you know what? Like, this is a mature young man, right? His mother, by the way, very successful, very mature. I believe she's coaching in the WNBA?
No.
Or is she in college?
NBA. I'm not NBA,
In
but
college.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, at Notre Dame in college. So he comes from a very good, disciplined family. This is a kid that I have no doubts about his work ethic. We compliment Cade Cunningham all the time about his work ethic. You look at Saddiq Bey and now Jaden Ivey, I see 3 individuals that want to be great. And that is unbelievably not only inspiring, that gives this entire city hope, optimism for the future that, you experience the bad boys. They got to back-to-back finals, actually 3 in a row, and they won back-to-back. You got the going-to-work Pistons, 04 champions, 2005. Rasheed Wallace forgot how to play defense. We're just going to forget about that.
Brain fart.
Brain fart happens. Happens to everybody. Even we have them. And now you have this young core. And does this young core turn into a championship team? We can have that conversation later. But I think it provides the next 10, 12, 13 years of clarity. You can look at this team and say, man, we're going to be around for a minute. If we recall the 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals, will it ever be that? I don't know. Too early. But you have a lot of potential here with the Detroit Pistons, Terry, and this kid just makes me fall in love with him more and more every day.
I think what we're seeing is rare. It's the mindset. And a lot of times when we talk about players, we talk, can they play, can they shoot, can they hit the 3? The thing that I don't see from younger players is the desire to continue to become a championship team. They just normally worry about their game, worry about getting things together. But I see younger guys who are thinking championship, and they know it's not going to come in the next couple years. They know it's going to come down the road, but at least they're thinking, what must we do to make this a championship team? Right now, when you look at championship teams, you look at the Boston Celtics, look at Golden State, obviously. When you see championship contenders, Boston, maybe Miami, and maybe you throw Philly. So what you're thinking now when you're this young Piston team, what must we do to beat the equivalent of the Golden State Warriors in 5 years, the equivalent of the Boston Celtics in 5 years, the equivalent of the Philadelphia 76ers in 5 years? What must we do to surpass those teams? And these guys are already thinking that, and I can't tell you how rare that is, and that's refreshing too to hear.
I love what you said, though, because it's very important to understand. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The championships or the conference finals appearances, that will come in time. Time is the key word here. I'm not going to say there aren't expectations for this team in the next few years, but we have to remember the average timeline for not only an NBA superstar to develop, but for really a superstar to win their first championship. Michael Jordan, I believe, 8 years. Isaiah Thomas, 7 years. LeBron James, 8 or 9 years, I believe. Steph Curry, 8 years. Giannis, 8 years. This takes time. And what I can guarantee you is if Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, if that is the core along with Saddiq Bey and they turn out to be what we expect them to be, well, Terry, I can guarantee you that 7 years from now, you would have been at least to 2 Eastern Conference Finals. Could be more. Who knows? They could totally prove me wrong. But typically, you enter that prime, year 6, year 7, year 8, where you really start becoming not just a contender in your conference, but for a championship. That's going to take time. We're a long way from that. Now, could this team be the anomaly and deliver a championship in 3 years? I wouldn't put money on it. And I would actually say no at the moment. I think they're just too young.
They're too young, and you have to look at the rest of the league. Is the rest of the league going to fall off?
Giannis isn't going anywhere.
Well,
Miami
in 8
will
years,
always be
what
relevant.
is Giannis going to be in 8 years?
In 8 years, yeah, but we're talking about the next 3, at least for the Pistons.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. Miami, Spoelstra and Riley, as long as they're together, will be contenders in the East. The Nets, they're going to blow up, so I'm not worried about them. But you have Cleveland coming up. I like what Indiana's doing. Halliburton alone is enough for me to say they're going to be something in a few years. I'm missing one team. Orlando's another young team, similar to the Pistons, right?
I don't trust
they're
them.
They're not going to be contenders. So you look at, I think Cleveland will be up there with the contenders in 3 years. I don't think Orlando, Detroit, Indiana are going to be in that 54, 55 plus win category in the Eastern Conference.
And the other thing is, we are talking about this team developing into a championship team, and they're saying the same thing in Cleveland and Indiana. That at some point, that they should be contenders. So now it's probably going to be a battle in 7 or 8 years with the Pistons, Cavs, and Pacers. Who makes the shrewdest moves? Who gets the better leadership? And Arthur's going to come down. Who is the better team in clutch time in the last 2 minutes of a tied game? That's what it's going to probably come down to. And I tell you what, when the bad boy Pistons won their championships, the team that they had to overcome initially wasn't Boston, wasn't the Lakers. It was the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers were 5 games up on them at some point during the season. So they had to overcome that. They had to overcome the Milwaukee Bucks. And they did. They banished them, destroyed those teams, and we never hear anything. Nobody talks about the Cleveland Cavaliers or Milwaukee Bucks being good back in the late 80s, but they were. That's because when the Pistons passed them, Isaiah Thomas has a philosophy. When you pass somebody, you not only must beat them, but you must destroy that team. So that team, that version of the team, never comes back to bite you again. And that's the way it usually happens. When the Pistons finally beat the Celtics never came back and were able to beat the Pistons in a championship situation again. So the Pistons destroyed them. When the Bulls beat the Pistons with Michael Jordan, the Pistons never came back and were able to beat the Bulls in a championship situation. In other words, the Pistons were destroyed. Part of it was what's happened on the floor, and part of it was this Mickey Mouse press conference that Michael Jordan had when they were beating the Pistons, and he said they were bad for basketball. A lot of the rules in the NBA changed. Now, today, at some point, the Golden State Warriors will be vanquished. Now, who's going to do that? When that team beats the Warriors, they have to make sure they never come back and are able to beat them in a competitive situation. Yeah, you're going to win some regular season games. That doesn't count. I'm talking about in a playoff situation where you're either playing to get to the NBA Finals or playing to get to the Eastern Conference or Western Conference Finals. I'm talking about a real situation. That's where you can't let that team ever come back. When you beat them, you got to smack them, destroy them, put them in your back pocket, and never worry about them again.
I think the mental side of it's super important, especially when you're a young team and you're trying to make your way through the league. For Dallas, they'd be some okay teams in the playoffs, right? But the Warriors ended up being the championship team. Mm-hmm. And maybe this season, that's their demon. That's what they have to accomplish. For the Pistons, I'd expect them, not this year, but the following season, year 3 of Cade, year 4 of Sadiq Bey, year 2 of Jaden Ivey. I expect this to be a clear playoff team. Not, maybe a play-in. No, a 5, 6 seed at worst. This is a team that should be in the playoffs by then. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Dan Campbell says he's embraced same old Lions. He's embraced the mantra, the saying, a bunch of BS, or is it actually a smart move on his end? We'll get to that in just a bit. But before we go, I got to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's, walk in anytime, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. No appointment necessary. Their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of myself. Now, if you struggle with growing a beard like Fish, maybe they can't help you so much, but they can definitely help you with what's on top of your head. Unless, I don't know, who's bald here? Maz? Poor Maz.
Me?
You, yeah. Yeah, but, I respect you, Terry, so I'm not throwing you under the bus.
But
I'm not doing that.
Still bald. Me and Maz.
Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 10 to 8, again, 7 days a week. No appointment necessary. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. At Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. Play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sports books. Go to OddsTrader.com right now for your best bet, or you can download their app on the App Store today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, 8:18 in the morning on a beautiful Thursday.
Ooh, it's going to be hot this weekend. Be careful, brother.
It's going to be... I'm indoors mostly all weekend. I work, so it doesn't matter.
That's right. You never get out. I forgot about that.
No, remember, haven't tried a coney dog.
The only time he gets out is when he...
when I have to work.
Or when you're with the Ratz.
Oh, when I'm with the Ratz.
Right.
Or when I'm with the Ratz. All right, Terry. Dan Campbell said he's embraced the same old Lions mantra, something that upsets him and that drives him, motivates him to have success in Detroit. If you remember his original... not only press conference, but really the first few weeks of Dan Campbell as the Lions head coach, before we ever saw him on the field. He was very mindful of Detroit, blue collar, hardworking. He said all the typical right things that...
That's what everybody says.
I know, but just to give context, this is something he's done since day one. And for him to say the same old Lions mantra is something that he has his eyes on, he understands it, and he wants to use as fuel and motivation. I'm not gonna call it BS, but what I'd say is it's something I think that can bite you in the ass. Because same old Lions isn't just, it's a multitude of things. It isn't just losing, how you lose, right? Blown leads. Never winning the division since 91. 93. Last division title or playoff win, 91. That is the same old Lions. And I think for the Lions, if I'm honest, and Terry, I would love for you to correct me if you think I'm wrong on this.
You know what? Nobody's going to be right or wrong. I may disagree, but
I think there's a right or wrong on this. Hear me out. I think for the Lions, under Dan Campbell or any coach, to get rid of same old Lions as a catchphrase or a saying or something that's spewed by media or even fans themselves. For you to get rid of that requires, in my opinion, in a 10-year window, you've won your division 3 to 5 times. You've won multiple playoff games. You've been to at least 1 or 2 NFC championship games. You've built a contender for a decade. And yes, you're going to have some down years, right? There are the Steelers. There are the, even to an extent, the Ravens, the Chiefs with Mahomes, Brady, and the Pats. They win for a long time. But just based on historical evidence, we see that every 2-3 years, you should be winning your division in the NFL. And I think you do that for a 10-year window. I believe you escape same old Lions as long as you have playoff success. You've built a contender. You've represented maybe the NFC in the Super Bowl, dare I say. Even if you didn't, I think getting to an NFC or 2 NFC championship games in a decade is a significant accomplishment for any franchise, not just the Lions.
Right.
And why I'm saying that, Terry, is you look at the Browns right now. And we'll get to the Deshaun Watson thing later as well, but the Browns had playoff success recently, and they've suddenly changed quarterbacks, gone in a different direction. Deshaun Watson, very, very unclear what this team is going to look like for 8 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, depends on how long he's suspended, what they're going to look like, what the record is going to be, and what's their future. And I don't think, if I'm honest, I don't think if Dan Campbell in the next 2 seasons goes out and wins a playoff game, that removes same old Lions mentality. Because that doesn't take into effect you can and you should have success every 2-3 years. That is the NFL. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the party. But to get rid of it, I think it's a 10-year stretch where you've won your division every 3 years, every 2 years, and you're winning multiple playoff games. You're making runs. You get to an NFC championship or 2. I think that's how you get rid of it. I don't think it's just by one instance.
Let me say this about
moment.
you. You're very cute and analytical. I'm going to be blunt. It's not being stupid, because the same old Lions a lot of times got this game in the bag, going to go out and have a good Sunday, and they screw it up somehow. That's part of the same old Lions. But I'm glad that he's embracing his demons and not running away from them. He says he's using same old Lions as a motivation. It's a motivation to rid of the Lions of that moniker. I could be different on things, but I say if you've got a problem, don't run from it, embrace it, and try to destroy it. And I think that's what Dan Campbell wants to do. He's got a bunch of guys in that locker room, and I'm sure if you've been a Lion player for 3 months, you've heard the same old Lions BS, and it makes you angry. And I'm glad Dan Campbell's saying, don't like it, but this is who we are, and we're going to fight this.
And I think that's a great thing. And I don't think you should be silent on, the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, Dan, is you are the head coach of arguably the worst franchise in all of professional sports. Definitely in the NFL over the last 58, 59 years. Fair? Right. Fair or not? Whether we like Brad Holmes and everything that's going on, it's irrelevant. Historically, you are one of the worst franchises in the NFL. That is a reality. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I like that we're addressing the elephant in the room. I don't like when things happen and no one really says anything because, well, we're not trying to cause a problem or we're not trying to bring something up that's a little awkward. No. Address it right away, immediately. Communicate. I don't mind it. Now, I like what you said. Don't be stupid. Don't make stupid decisions. That's a big part of it. Maybe I push that to the side a little bit because I'm a big fan of Brad Holmes. I think they have somebody in the front office now that is legitimately qualified to be a GM in the NFL. Having said that.
Yeah, but when I'm talking about don't be stupid, that comes from the coaching and player side.
Oh, not just the front office.
No, there's been plenty of times where Lions
not
got a
going for
game.
it on 4th and 1 with Jim Caldwell.
Right. You either get scared or you for instance, let's go back to the Sterling Sharp play. And the Lions about to beat Green Bay in a playoff game. All of a sudden, the whole secondary doesn't get the memo of what coverage they're in. Some guys thought they were in cover 2. Some guys thought they were in cover 3. And this is a famous scene. Sterling Sharp catching a ball in the end zone. The closest person to him were the fans in the first row. And the Lions lost the playoff game. They should have won. That's what I'm talking about, being stupid. How can you go an entire season as a secondary? We're calling defensive plays, and you get it right every freaking game. Then when it's time to advance in the playoffs and win your first playoff game, half the dudes think you're in cover 2, half think you're in cover 3. How does that happen? That's a franchise that's dysfunctional. That's a franchise looking to lose. That's a franchise that doesn't know how to win. So getting rid of same old Lions, to me, your big picture thing is correct. But first you got to correct the small stuff. Like, okay, when I'm backed into a corner, or if I'm playing this one play to decide an important game, I got to be on point. Often the Lions are not on point. That's same old Lions. This stupidity just reaches the back of your mind some way, somehow, and you know it's going to happen on a consistent basis. That's the same old Lions that Dan Campbell needs to get rid of. It's the same old Lions that Dan Campbell is fighting, and he's not running away from it. Good for him.
And let's be honest, we saw it at times last year, and maybe it's not fair to give him the SOL tag on a team that we all knew, well, at least some of us knew, was going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And some of those fourth down calls were questionable, stupid at times, but you also saw moments where I could respect, even if it didn't work. I could respect it. Look at the Minnesota loss. If you recall, they went for it for 2 points later in the game to take the lead instead of tying it, I believe. And that is something that would never happen prior. Wouldn't have happened under Caldwell, Patricia, Schwartz. I liked that a lot, actually. And had they not made the 2-point conversion, even though they did give up a field goal, the game was over, whatever. But the point is, had they gone for it and missed, I would have been just as pleased with the fact that, well, that's a mentality change, Terry. And we talked about this a lot. I don't want Dan to change his aggressiveness now that his team is a little better and they'll be in games more. I do want to see the same aggressiveness, but like Brandon Staley has to learn, pick and choose your moments. Not every fourth down is win or go home. And I also think this team won't be in as many situations as they were last year because they're going to improve. They were the worst third down team in football last year. I expect them, of all the teams in the NFL, to take the most significant leap from 32 probably to 17 or 18 this season. I think they're going to be one of the better third down teams because of Jared Goff's confidence, play action, movement, pre-snap, the ability to run the ball and set up third and shorts. I like the idea of this team being one of the better third down teams, but back to Dan Campbell, I want to see that continued. When you're about to win a game, are you playing to win or not to lose? And that's a mentality we've seen really forever with this team. It's play not to lose. 4th and 1 in Dallas.
True. But
you know, we're
in fairness, when you look at the Lions, particularly last 5 or 6 years, on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, they can't run the football. Because if they do, they're not going to make it. That's why they do rollout passes. That's why they may go upfield a little bit more. But let me warn you, young man, I know you're ready for football season. There are going to be several times this Lions football season where you're going to come in on a Monday and say, what the hell were they thinking? Why did they do that? They're going to still have to make questionable decisions, because if they just play it by the vest, they'll win 4 games this year. But if Dan Campbell has that same mentality he had last year, maybe not to the extent that he did last year, but still thinking we got to do
something.
We got to do something that's either, whether you want to call it aggressive or shocking or surprising. That's the way that the Lions are going to progress and be a better team.
You know, Before we wrap this up, I do want to acknowledge down the stretch as well, when Dan Campbell did take over play calling and Ben Johnson was involved in game planning and calling up or designing plays towards the end of the season. This team, I believe, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, went from 31st or 32nd in terms of offensive efficiency in the NFL to 7th during that stretch.
Yeah, I was thinking the number 7. I think that is correct.
And that is indicative of Dan Campbell. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why, Terry, I'm sure you heard me last season. I'm very, very upset 10, 11, 12 weeks into the year. And then Minnesota happened. And then Minnesota happened again when they actually won. And then the Cardinals game. And I said, you know what? This team is actually playing football. They're not just out there not with their heads, cut off, running around like headless chicken. Mm-hmm. There's a plan here. And backed off and said, you know what? Show me. I can at least respect you because you made a leadership move. And over the course of the weeks that you were in charge of the offense, it was much, much better than what it was under Anthony Lynn. I can do nothing. I
am not willing to go there yet. I need to see them do this in the first month of the season, because what has happened a lot of times with the Lions is later in the season, the opponents are like, "Oh, we're playing the Lions. We can come in here and chill out." And so then we're around and say, "Hey, the Lions are looking better now," but you got to look at the opponent. The opponent, even though they say, "Oh, we're serious about every team we play," they're not. They're not serious about it. And I think later in the season, teams sleep on the Lions a little bit. We got this win, and I've been a bunch of opposing locker rooms, and they're losing at halftime. And the first thing I hear from players, coach came in, cussed us out, saying, "You got to play. This is the Lions. I don't care if this is the Lions. You still got to play ball." And so they usually play better in the second half, pull out a victory. Lions look like they're world beaters in the first half, but then they can't hang on in the second half. But I think a lot of that has to do with teams don't take them seriously in December. Like Green Bay didn't even play their team in the last game of the season. They had nothing to play for. And I think there's a mindset that the Lions are so pathetic, the teams just don't take them seriously.
The Packers game last season, I think it's fair to bring up. I would point to the Cardinals and the Minnesota game. Those were still relatively early on in the season, not so late. That was about week 12 or week 11 or 12.
But weren't the Cardinals fried by then? I mean,
no,
the Cardinals did not play good football.
Not necessarily. They were one of the better teams. They had suffered recently a few injuries, but they were still more than capable of beating the Detroit Lions, but they didn't. And I don't want to take too much credit away from how they game planned, but we need to go to break. When we get back, the 4 Detroit sports teams in town, they're all going through a rebuild, of which how many of them will end with a championship parade?
I got the answer.
Their current leadership. I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to hear it. But before we go, Maddie, could you tell us about our good friends over at Cintron?
Yes, I can. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. They now have combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry classic or sugar-free all in one pack. Pre-order today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron. Let's go Red Wings.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 480-4467 today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
All right. Think you got what it takes to beat Braylon Edwards in a three-point contest? Well, Friday is your chance. Come down to the Monroe Street Midway in downtown Detroit and take your shot at Braylon Edwards for a chance to win $1,000. The bottom line will be broadcasting from 2 to 4 live at the Monroe Street Midway event. And after, Braylon Edwards, who apparently is an athlete and who can apparently play basketball, is your competition and who's your hurdle between you and $1,000. Get down there. I believe they're qualifying people on the bottom line. So, Maddie, if you could.
Yes, there's a tweet, actually, that Braylon made a video.
Okay.
And he's going to choose 5 people that retweet that tweet to pre-qualify into the second round.
So, can anybody here confirm Braylon can shoot?
Three-point shooters.
I can.
He can shoot?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
We've played
Is it because of
basketball.
skin color or because you've played with him?
I've played with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, no stereotypical, evidence here at all.
Well, he's out practicing right now.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
We like to play at Tin Roof, those little basketball hoop
But
games.
those don't count.
That doesn't
I know,
count.
but like
Stop
still.
it.
No, not still.
It's just fun.
That's like people going to a putt-putt course and say, oh, I could golf.
Right. I could beat Tiger Woods.
I could beat Tiger Woods. Look at me, I'm putting like a minutes today.
It doesn't count.
I didn't
Maddie.
say it counted.
Yes,
but I
you
said
did.
that
You brought it up.
I said that we like to play that game.
But you brought it up in the context like, you know what?
God help us, Braylon Edwards. in 3. I hope he surprises me.
In her defense, you can either shoot a basketball
Fish,
or
mute
not
your
shoot
mic.
a
Shut the hell
basketball.
up.
There is a difference.
Shut the hell up. Mute your mic.
Can I go home now?
I hope
Either
Braylon
way,
Edwards. I hope he
it was
proves me
tweeted
wrong.
out last night, so go retweet the tweet if you want to automatically be in the second round. If not, and you suck, you won't make it past the first round.
Wow, you're rude.
There. You're the most rude person I've ever met in my life.
I don't
So,
tell people that
there
they
you
suck
go.
at things in life.
Yes, you do.
Never.
You
Yes,
call
you do.
you call them mother, and you tell them to f themselves,
what?
and
You showed
tell
them
them to
I'm rooting for
shut
Braylon.
I'm rooting for Braylon too.
I want him
I
to
hope
look
he
good.
proves me wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. I really don't know if he can play basketball at all. Braylon,
Well-
I hope you hear this. I don't know. And we're trusting you with $1,000. So,
You
to
must
be
be
honest
able
with
to
you,
do something. You did play in the NFL.
He did.
they played.
I know. But what do a lot of coaches look for when they're recruiting guys for Division I schools? A lot of times they don't watch them play football. They go to their basketball games. They want to see if they're athletic. They got, twitch, or quick twitch, whatever you call it. I think Braylon will surprise you. And I'm not sure if he played hoops at Bishop Gallagher, but I'm sure he can do something.
No one's asking him to
know
play
what?
a game of basketball. He just has to shoot a
Yeah, you
freaking
just have to shoot it.
three-pointer.
You have to shoot a
And
three-point
even
shot.
though we know the guy, and so we make fun of him and call him a drill head and stuff, he was a world-class athlete. He played professional sports.
That is very true.
You guys are making it sound like he's playing on the
Fish,
NBA
didn't I tell you
All-Star
mute your
game.
mic? Shut the hell up.
You act like he's Elmer Funt or something like that.
Oh, God. All right, Terry, you got the answers. So I got the
I
question.
do.
You have the Detroit Tigers, who is, I guess you could call them the bastard child of the city at the moment.
They are.
You have the Detroit Red Wings, led by Steve Yzerman, the Detroit Lions, led by Brad Holmes, and the Detroit Pistons, led by Troy Weaver, of which 3 projects, because I'm not even going to acknowledge that team that plays at Comerica Park, that loser franchise, that loser GM, and current loser owner. We're not going to acknowledge
Technically,
them.
we have to acknowledge them. They are part of the pro sports theme here, or scheme, so.
Well, when they give you a multiple choice question, you can fill in all the above, or fill in as many or all the above. You don't even put the Tigers there. It's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful
Okay.
to the other 3
Now-
teams that are actually taking
No,
their
you're
job
right.
seriously.
You're right. Today, but maybe Chris Ilitch could wake up and say, you know what? I don't have the right guy in charge.
And maybe Fish wakes up one day and he looks down and there's a vagina instead of a dick.
I thought that already happened.
God.
Well, apparently I have no nipples, so I mean
Oh,
that
that's
was
right.
that was
He
a
is
shocker.
nippleless.
That was a shocker when I first learned that out from you guys. So thank you.
You got it, bud. Terry, of all the teams, and all I mean the three teams, the Red Wings, the Pistons, and the Lions, 4. Of which, how many of them will end in championship parades with the current leadership?
I believe 2 will end up with championship parades. And we're not talking about division title. That's not a championship. I'm talking about a parade down Woodward where Maddie's on one of the floats drunk and Fish is following it. Say, hey, I know her. That's the championship. I think it's going to be the Red Wings and the Pistons will end up with championship parades in downtown Detroit under the current regime. And you know what? The whole regime may not be there. For instance, the Red Wings with Steve Yzerman, that will happen. The Pistons with Cade Cunningham, and some other pieces may be missing. But I think those are the 2 franchises that will actually go through the finish line. And the reason that for the Wings, I think Steve Yzerman has already done it. He's done it in a non-hockey setting. Now he's going to try to do it at home in Detroit. And I can't see him coming back where he won championships as a player and not accomplishing that as a GM, particularly since he did it in Florida. He was sort of mentored before he took the Florida job or the Tampa job. And then I can't see him failing. The Pistons. I have a lot of faith in Cade Cunningham. I'm already seeing a guy that's gone beyond I just want to have a good time, get drunk, lay women, and win as many games as I can. He doesn't have that mentality. He is a guy that I see as a competitor. B is a guy that wants to win championships, and when he gets the right team, he's not going to talk about winning games. He's going to be talking about winning championships. So I believe in those 2 people.
What I would say to that is I actually agree.
Ooh.
But I will say this. When they lift the cup, I believe Derek Lalonde will be the head coach. When the Pistons lift the Larry O'Brien trophy, Dwayne Casey will not be, in my opinion.
I can agree with that.
And
I'm saying not every piece will be there,
of
but
course not.
The main pieces will be there. To me, the main pieces of Steve Yzerman, it's not Dwayne Casey, it's Cade Cunningham.
Absolutely.
Now,
and it's Troy Weaver, right? You have leadership, you have a young up-and-coming superstar, potentially another one in Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey. There's a lot of potential there. Now, could that all shuffle around in 4, 5, 6 years from now? Absolutely. But under the tenure of Steve Yzerman and Troy Weaver, I believe there is, along with you, a championship at the end of the road. The Lions are a tricky one because winning a Super Bowl is just very hard. And in the NFL, you typically win a Super Bowl one of 2 ways. You go a decade of dominating the league and walking away with 1, maybe 2 Super Bowls. Or you, I don't want to say luck into getting to a Super Bowl and winning it, but you probably weren't the best team that season. You got hot. You can, case in point, the New York Giants and how they won their titles with the Eli Manning. You can go to even the Bengals. Were they the best team in the NFL this year? No. Were they the best team in the AFC? No. They got to a Super Bowl. They had an opportunity to win it. So that is how the NFL works. I would love to sit here confidently and say Brad Holmes will deliver a Super Bowl. But I am not going to have that conversation until we take baby steps. And those baby steps are winning a division and winning a playoff game. You do that sequence, we can have a conversation. Then I'll believe in you. Do I believe they can bring a winner to this town, a team that's consistently winning and contending for their division, winning their division, dare I say, and winning playoff games? I think that's possible. I would commit to that.
I believe that will happen.
I believe so too. But to say Super Bowl.
Look at the LA Rams this year. Look at the whole playoff thing. I think every game was decided by 3 points.
For the Rams, the first game against the Cardinals, they kicked their ass, and then it was Tampa Bay last-minute drive won by 3 points. It was San Francisco 2-minute warning. They scored a touchdown, I believe, to Cooper Kupp, and then San Francisco couldn't go down and answer. I believe that was decided by a score. And then the Super Bowl, same thing. Go down on the field, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, touchdown late in the game. Joe Burrow gets the ball back. They fail to score and answer, and ball game. So yes, the last 3 games of that playoff run were decided by one possession, and they were all fourth quarter comebacks.
But when you look at the totality of the playoffs, not just the Rams, but I swear 75-80% of games were decided by 3 points. Boom. And when you do that, that means you do need a little luck. You need some fortune. You have to make critical plays at critical times. That doesn't always happen. So that's why, winning the Super Bowl is very difficult. Maybe not the toughest thing. I think winning the Stanley Cup is more difficult. Winning the Super Bowl is the second most hardest thing to do. But still, you need something. You need lady luck. You need the wind to blow in a certain direction. You need the ball to bounce in a certain direction for you to win or advance to a Super Bowl.
One of the things I think we tend to forget is, even with the Rams, let's use them as an example. The Rams last season won a Super Bowl with an average defense during the regular season, but they made mid-season moves of Von Miller, Odell Beckham, that really, really helped, and really were fortunate at the time, because they had signed Odell when Robert Woods was still healthy, and then he got hurt literally the same week as they signed Odell, and that was a lifesaver for them. And they did it all with no run game. So we haven't seen a team repeat in the NFL since Brady and the Pats, long time ago. It's difficult to do, and no one's done it for a reason. But this is a team that gets Cam Akers back this season. And if he is what we expect him to be, the Rams will be a problem, and I think they should be the favorite to come out of the NFC. And you look at the NFC, it's weak. Who's their competition? All the quarterbacks, all the stacked teams are in the AFC. The Rams only have to go through Tom Brady and the Bucs. Who else? The Niners have never made back-to-back playoff appearances since 2012, I believe.
True. But when you win a championship, you lose a little bit of desire.
Yes.
So that is going to factor in.
Most teams do. The good coaches are able to.
How about all teams?
I don't know. I mean, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, it didn't seem to affect them. But
okay, who else? You got to go years and years and years.
Can we say it doesn't happen often? Right? You saw it with Montana. You saw it with Young. You saw it with Brady. I can't believe I'm saying this, but even Eli Manning, he did win multiple Super Bowls. So whatever. But beyond the point, I think the Rams are more than capable of at least getting back to the Super Bowl. Minimum NFC Championship appearance. If they don't get to an NFC title game this year, I believe it's a complete failure for the Rams. With my expectations for them along with theirs. But we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, will the Red Wings make the playoffs this season? Terry and I will give our opinions on that. But before we do, the best defense on and off the field, Maddie, is Guardian Alarm.
Guardian Alarm. Summertime is here, and that means spending more time outside. So let Guardian Alarm give you peace of mind while you're out enjoying the sunshine. Just call 1-800-STAY-OUT, and you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Give them a call right now and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
When you need apparel, there is only one place to go, and that is Big Frog in Novi. And right now, all month long, you can get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, I said it. A free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they'll print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today, or you can visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry, are the Red Wings a playoff team this season, year one under Derek Lalonde, and after all those free agent signings? Is this the year they get in? And may I remind you, before you give your answer, that the team that finished last, Boston, in their own division, had over 100 points. Is this team 40 points better than last season?
I would have to say no. But I think what we're going to see in March and April is like, okay, if the Wings can win 6 out of the next 7 games or 6 out of the next 8 games, they'll be in that number 8 spot. 40-point difference that's a hell of a lot.
The fewest points that made the playoffs last season in the Eastern Conference, the Washington Capitals with 100 points, the Boston Bruins 107 in the Atlantic Division. Do we expect the Panthers to drop off? I don't believe so. Toronto? No. I don't believe so. Tampa? Maybe a slight drop off, maybe not 110 points, but still they'll be damn near over 100. I expect them to be, and can't sleep on Boston. So where are those? You need 26 points more than last season, 13 additional wins. You need 13 additional wins compared to last season to get 100 points. Do they have it in the tank?
Here's what they have in the tank. They have in the tank not to fall off the way they did this last season. When you look back, they were sort of hanging in there through January, and
they were 24 and 6, and they finished the season 8-16-4.
I'm going to bet that doesn't happen again. That they've got enough on defense in particular not to fall off like that. You have to understand, when the Wings fell off, they were giving up 7 goals a game, 8-10 goals. The defense just turned into a set. It was awful. It was painful to watch. I went to a game, and I'm like, man, the Wings offense looking pretty good tonight. They ended up losing 10-7. Those games must disappear. And I believe Steve Yzerman is, when he looks at his team, he is looking to eliminate those 10 7-goal breakdowns. Yes, it's going to happen sometimes. That's just professional sports, but we're not going to see it very often this year, and that's going to be enough to put them in contention for a longer time this year.
They brought in a new goaltender, right? It seems as if Nedeljkovic will be the backup.
Yeah.
He'll probably get 22 to 28 starts, depending on how the season goes. They're much more experienced on the defensive, with their defensive pairings now. That's good. You've provided Seider and Hornick, now Olimata and Ben Sherratt. So solid. Goal scoring, I believe, will be more potent this year. And one of the biggest things that I took away from free agency is the flexibility now you have with 2 power play units. I think their power play, which was either second to last or dead last in the NHL last season,
it's been pathetic for years.
That will significantly improve, and you brought it up. Not giving up as many goals. They gave up the second most goals in the NHL, only behind the team that ended up picking first in the Montreal Canadiens. So experience on defense, experience on the forward lines. I expect the Wings to take a big step forward. If they miss the playoffs, it will not be because they failed. It will be because to get into the playoffs, they needed 107 points, and they finished with 101 or 99 or 97. And you're like, damn, that's actually a good team, but based on the standings, we just didn't get in.
Dude, you are mentioning rarefied air to me. So I always like to go old school. Back when the Wings were in the 90s, if you got 100 points, you were a Stanley Cup contender.
Hell,
Forget about making the playoffs.
You were a President's Trophy contender.
Right. Which, nobody in the NHL cares about. But it meant that you had a pretty damn good team. Now, things have switched, and if you get 100 points, so you just barely made the playoffs. So this is new territory for me. Not comfortable talking about it, but I will.
One of the things I do like about this Wings team, and I believe Ryan and Brad over at the Winged Wheel podcast did a hell of a job covering this, really is I mentioned flexibility with the power play, but also flexibility with your forward lines. You have, in my opinion, two 30-plus goal scorers this year on the roster, potentially 4 to 5, 22, 23-plus goal scorers this year on the roster. There are goals to be had. And it makes the job of a Dylan Larkin a lot easier, right? I mean, this is a guy that carried the offensive load last season, and it's something you want to see from your captain, arguably your best offensive player. But
and the guy we had questions about before the season began.
Absolutely.
Now, do we have to deal with the whole vaccination BS with Tyler Bertuzzi? Is that done?
Terry, I don't know. Look,
is he going to play in Canada?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't play in Canada, and if he doesn't, I don't mind it. It's not that many games a year, but I don't know. I would prefer we all move on with life and continue forward.
I think that's done. I think we've progressed enough where
depends who you ask.
That won't be an issue.
Depends who you ask.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. God. All right, likely a 50-50 split for the goalie. Eric, so what are we thinking? 41 games each? I would say, I think it's performance-based, right? If Nedeljkovic is just head and shoulders suddenly, well, then he's probably getting 44, 48 games. But if it's not, it'll probably be 52-30. I think maybe that's more fair, Eric. 52-30. Or maybe 48-34. I'm okay with that.
I think Adham traded for the new goalie for him to be the number one guy.
I agree, too.
Nedeljkovic is a really nice number two. I liked him early in the season last year as the number one. And then it just didn't pan out, just kind of disintegrated.
At periods of time, he was top 5 in the major goalie categories at one point. He was a rookie, but
you couldn't trust him.
January happened, February happened, and the rest of the season happened. So it was nice early on, but the wheels fell off, and how much of it is on him, how much of it is on the defensive pairings last season weren't the best. And your best defenseman was your rookie. So that's not ideal for any hockey team.
No. And even some of the games where the Wings didn't give up a ton of goals, there were times when they're in games and the goaltending just let them down. I'm like, how in the hell did that get in the back of the net? And so that
he put it in the back of the
net.
Huh? He put it in the back of the net sometimes, Terry.
Yeah, I know.
That was rough.
But that's why he will be the number 2 this year.
Oh, God. Top of the hour coming up. Terry, I'm excited. I've been waiting for this all day. The super conferences in college football, what it'll look like, and I'll reveal my college football playoff strategy and how I believe we can expand even in the future. This is going to be amazing.
Okay, I've been waiting for this. I almost made you wear a suit for this.
I should have. Shame on me.
You are the college football czar.
Shame on me.
You got to do a double-breasted
I will. If it wasn't 90 degrees, I would. Maybe in the wintertime.
Okay, yeah, we'll revisit
I've got a great...
Oh, no, wait. Aren't we supposed to revisit everything in November?
Yep, November.
Ask me in November.
Ask me in November.
Okay.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And we'll get the suit in November.
We'll be right back in just a bit, but before we do, Maddie, where can I find the ciabattas
You can find ciabattas at Big Boy along with their summer salads and hand-dipped shakes. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on their grilled ciabatta bread, or keep it light with their Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, and Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a nice hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
It's Feldman's Carmageddon, the 4-day used car super sale. We're putting an end to high prices. 4 days of the best deals with more than 3,000 used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Carmageddon starts July 21st at 8 convenient locations. If you're tired of not being able to get the car you want, then shop Feldman's Carmageddon, the 4-day used car super sale. Hurry in while supplies last.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Top of the hour, brought to you by our friends at Big Rock.
English. Miss, I'm an Italian goddess.
She just got a little nervous, that's all.
Bedrock.
Bedrock. I don't know. Big Frog.
Big Rock. You're thinking of something else that's big, but that's a you problem, not a me problem.
That is not a me problem.
Come on, lead us, goddess. Lead us.
Listen.
How are you, Maddie? You doing good?
I'm not well.
That's good. Your water heater went to hell?
Yeah. I went to the laundry room last night, walked into a giant lake.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's up, Fish?
I'm cheering my. We got some basketball on, by the way. You guys are missing some great basketball. Hope you're happy.
Mute your mic. I thought you had something to say.
It's a 3, ding dong.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Fish is his own thing. Alex,
Maddie,
are we good to go?
Let me give you some advice. Oh, no, you're renting, though.
I rent.
Okay. Well, whoever house you're in, go tankless.
My landlord is a saint.
Ooh, we like that.
All right, tell him to go tankless.
He's sending somebody out today to come look at it. He called me. I sent him a text message at like 11 o'clock last night, and I was like, hey, sorry to bug you. He's a lawyer, so he goes to bed pretty early.
It means your water heater is shot. It will never live another day.
Yikes.
When it starts to leak. But they go anywhere from 12 to 16 years, and they start leaking. And that means that they've eroded at the bottom. See, I'm an expert now because I just went through this. So they're done. But the mistake, I got a new one. And what they're going to try to sell you is what we call a fatty. It's a little bit smaller, but it's wider. And so they're going to try to sell you on a fatty. Or what I should have done, I should have got the tankless water heater. But I couldn't do the research quick enough. But that seems to be the way to go. You won't have to worry about running out of water, and that's what I was worried about. But for my research now, tankless costs a little bit more, but it's the way to go. And what's going to happen in 12 years from now, it's not going to leak again. If you get a water heater with a tank, it's going to leak again in 12 to 16 years, so you don't have to worry about that. But you may not be there. So.
I will not be there, or hopefully I'm not there in 12 to 16
Well, just
years.
tell Home Biscuit, who owns the house, that.
Yeah. No, my roommate texted me yesterday. She's like, hey, did you take a shower recently? Like, I got no hot water in the shower, but you weren't home. And I said, no, I'm not. I wasn't there. She goes, oh, well, there's no hot water. And I was like, what are you talking about? I go downstairs and the water heater was off. So I turned it back on.
Usually.
And then it started raining.
The water heater rained?
God bless. Well,
you just don't give a damn.
No, he does not.
Wow.
He doesn't care about
Are
anything.
there, hey, Terry Foster, are there?
She's not a damsel. Fish, shut the hell up. I told you mute your mic.
But she's taking
If
cold
she's a damsel,
showers. And you're being a bully.
You go shower at his house or come shower at my house. I don't care if you need hot water. Chill out. It's not the end of the world.
Was I worried about it? No. So shut the fuck up.
Ooh, spicy.
Wait, no, she didn't.
Maddie,
she
someone
didn't,
hasn't gotten
homeboy.
laid in a a few weeks. Jeez.
I'm going to kill you.
We're getting all saucy in here.
Jeez. All right.
I'm not used to this.
Let's get back on the show.
I grew up in the house of respectability.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, too.
I didn't.
Clearly, you're Italian.
Obviously.
Here we are. I'm back on the Morning Woodward Show, top of the hour. Terry, we can talk about this for a minute now?
Yes,
Big
please.
Ten, SEC, and the Pac-12. What
I want to write this down.
to make of it? Well, I got it all written out for you on a beautiful
Okay.
screen. So if we could throw up my 20-team model for the upcoming season. For the Big Ten and the SEC, we'll start, obviously, you have your Big Ten teams, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State. New entries in USC, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, Maryland, Iowa, Rutgers, Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, Oregon joins, Utah joins, UCLA joins, Stanford joins, and Washington joins the Big Ten. Now you have 20 teams.
Did you get rid of any current Big Ten teams?
No. We've left it as is. We now move on to the SEC. Obviously, you have Bama, LSU. You have Oklahoma, who's a new entry, Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Missouri, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and then the new additions from the ACC. Over Duke, I chose Miami, Florida State, North Carolina, and Clemson. And now you have two 20-team conferences, of which you have a total of 40 teams. Now, Terry, what do we do about the college football playoff? Well, it's quite simple. 4 automatic bids from both conferences in a 12-team playoff. 4 automatic bids where you have, obviously, your top 4 seeds in both conferences, and then I say best record between the 2 conferences gets in. What this means for the regular season is every team in the Big Ten will have to play 1 team in the SEC. I prefer it to be 2. I think 1 is a good start. You can schedule 2 out-of-conference games. That way your Boise States or whoever the hell else you want to play, your Colorado States, you can play them. You can get the money for the mid-market schools. So I don't mind that. But if we go based on my seeding projections, well, then Michigan would play Georgia. Ohio State would play Alabama. Michigan State would play God knows who finished 3rd of the SEC, but it's irrelevant. And what I would like to do in the future is expand it to 16 teams. And the only way I do that is by making each conference 24 teams. So I bring on a whole new set of 4. And it could be Oklahoma State, Baylor. There are teams out there that I want a part of this group. I left it at 24 now, but I think you expand in the future. You bring Baylor, you bring Oklahoma State, you bring some of these really good programs, and you bring them to the Big Ten, the SEC, I don't care. But Terry, this is my model. 40 teams, 12-team playoff, expand from 4 to 12, eventually get to 16. But I think what 12 provides you is now you have the winner of each conference gets a bye week, right? And now you're left with, the top 2 teams that finish in your conference are now given a bye week. And then you have seeded matchups all the way along. Then your 2 plays your 6, your 3 plays 4, and then your 2 plays 7, your 3 plays 6, and your 4 plays 5.
Now, I'm
similar to the NFL.
I'm unclear about one thing.
Yes.
Now, in the first round of the playoffs, is it always a Big Ten team versus an SEC team?
So, the way I'm doing it, just to keep things super simple, is we're going to have the Big Ten and the SEC act as the AFC and NFC in the NFL.
Okay.
So they're still going to be separate. So if Michigan was the 1 seed, which they were this year, and Ohio State's the 2 seed, and Iowa's the 3 seed, and Michigan State's the 4 seed, let's just hypothetical here. All right, you have Michigan on a bye, Ohio State playing the 7 seed, let's say it's Purdue. You have Michigan State playing Penn State, let's say, in a 3 versus 6 matchup, and then Iowa versus Wisconsin in a 4 versus 5. These aren't the accurate numbers, but the point is that's how it would be. And the winner, the outright winner, gets to the national championship game.
So it's almost like another conference tournament.
Yes, but the one issue I have with it is maybe, just maybe, the best 2 teams are located in one conference every given year, right? Especially the more we expand. I think eventually what this gets to, and I mentioned going to 24 teams, I think once you get a total of 48 teams in this dual conference, you expand to 16-team playoff, and you completely eliminate the idea in the college football playoff of conferences. So now it's the best seed versus the worst seed, and it's all seeding rankings. If you're 10-2 and another team in the SEC is 9-3, well, you're over them, and vice versa. I think that's the long-term solution for college football.
But for now, it's the AFC versus the NFC.
In theory, yes, for now. I think it has to be unless you can guarantee we expand quicker than what I'd expect. Yes, I'd like to expand it.
You always have to assume in college football they're going to expand slower than you want to do, because that's been the history of college football.
If you want to throw this up one more time, I do want to walk through the money aspect of this. And this is also something, Terry, I think is very important to discuss. Would you rather watch Michigan-Hawaii to start the season or Michigan-Georgia?
Michigan-Georgia.
Would you rather watch Ohio State-Alabama or Ohio State-Colorado State?
Bama and the Bucks.
The money you will drive by making each of these teams play each other based on seedings every year. It's a guaranteed matchup. I think it's a home run model. The only thing I don't like about this is what are we expanding to? And can I get Baylor, Oklahoma State in here along with a few other teams? That would be my biggest ask. I think Notre Dame should join the Big Ten. I think it's good for them. I think they'll be a top 3, top 4 program in the Big Ten immediately. But this is it for me. I think this gives you everything you want. And then the college football playoff acts as its own committee. It's a separate entity. This is very important, by the way. The college football playoff becomes its own entity. And what happens is, if we're going to have a bye week, let's say, in a 14-team playoff, well, then winning your conference matters. But on the off chance that we go to 16 or 12 and there are no bye weeks, well, then home field advantage matters, right? And that's where total seeding does come along. So if Ohio State's, let's say, 11-1 and Georgia's 11-1, well, then I think we have to either look at head-to-head if they played, and if they didn't, what was their record out of conference or in conference? Who had a better in-conference record, right? If Ohio State's losses came in non-conference games, but they ran the table in the Big Ten, but Georgia lost a conference game, let's say, to LSU, well, Ohio State should be seeded higher. I think the natural seedings from 1 to 16, the 16 best teams out of the 40 at the moment and potentially 48 in the future, is the best model for college football.
You know what you're avoiding, at least at the beginning?
What's that?
You're avoiding the warm weather school coming up north to play a playoff game, which they're going to be in favor of. They're going to say, okay, cool.
Well, not necessarily.
Well,
if Michigan's a higher seed and they have home field advantage.
No, but they're going to play another Big Ten school.
But you have USC in there. You have Stanford. You have UCLA.
Yeah,
there are the West Coast teams in there. In theory, yes. But another factor to consider is once you get to that point and you're giving away home field advantage, I think you allow college football games to be played at the home fields in the college football playoff up until, in my opinion, the Final Four, your semifinals. Semifinals, neutral site, The college football playoff championship game, neutral site. But everything leading up, I believe, should be played at the home team or the team with the higher seedings home field. Why? You have to make the regular season worth something. It's not just, oh, we want to get in and we'll play at a neutral site. No. We need to win our games because we don't want to be playing on the road at Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State when we know we're a better team and we can finish with a better record, let's say. I think that's very important, and it does matter until you get to the college football semifinals. What do you think?
I like that. I like the standpoint that, we are breaking down another barrier under your system. We have never had a playoff game played in the cold weather for football. Now, we've had bowl games. Yes, they've played in New York. Those games don't count. But
they're all indoor, mostly.
Yankee Stadium is outdoors.
Different. I'm football purposes.
Memphis is cold.
Yes.
I've been to Liberty Bowl. It was cold. But for the most part, yes.
Neutral sites are where? In Atlanta and Indianapolis, correct? So, again.
Or New Orleans.
I think we have something special. We talk about tradition. Here's a new tradition. Meaningful college football playoff games at your university. You are a home team for the first 2 rounds up until the semi-final of the college football playoff. Then we can go to Atlanta, we can go to Indianapolis, and then the college football playoff can be played at an agreed neutral site every year. I don't care where. But give the teams the opportunity. We're talking about generating revenue now for the schools, for the cities. This is a big thing. Oh, well, what about the revenue? Where's the money going? Are we going to give money to the cities? Host college football playoff games in Ann Arbor, in Columbus, in Georgia, in Alabama, in Clemson. I think that's phenomenal.
It is. Now, Czar, I have another question.
Go for it.
If Michigan decides we don't want to play this quarterfinal game in 3 below zero weather, would you allow Michigan to host the game at Ford Field?
No.
Okay.
No, again, we cry about tradition. You play at the big house. I am getting all the money from TV rights and advertisers, and all this money is coming from the idea that how we are going to host these events. We are hosting at your university, and honestly, the university would be giving up money by wanting to play in Ford Field. You're not the only team playing in below zero weather. So is the opposing team. And you are actually more used to it, technically, than some of the other teams around in the college football playoff, potentially. So, no, I think they should. They absolutely should. And you saw it benefit Michigan last year against Ohio State. I was at the game. It was pretty cold. Snowing a little bit. Pretty cold. Boy, did it work to their advantage. They dominated the line of scrimmage. They ran all over Ohio State. Aiden Hutchinson dominated the day. 15 quarterback pressures on C.J. Stroud. Sometimes it works in your favor. Nothing wrong with that. I love the human element, the nature element of the first 2 rounds of the college football playoff. Then once we get to the semifinals, you can neutral site it up. I don't care. You can get a big sponsor on the neutral site. I don't care. But I think we're building something special, Terry. We're building December playoff football in the big house, in Columbus, at USC, at Clemson, at Alabama, at Georgia. Things we'd never seen before.
Building a new tradition.
New tradition. With new concepts come new traditions. And I think it's a home run. It's 20 teams now. I will make it 48 eventually. I have the full intention of making it 24 and 24. And I need Oklahoma State. I need Baylor in it. These are good programs in my opinion. So this is where we're going to go to. And yes, would I prefer the 1 seed to play the 1 seed and the 1 seed to play the 16 seed on the opposite conference every year? I would. For now, I'm happy to just do ranked seeding. 1 plays 1, 2 plays 2, all the way down the board. And that sets me up for 1 out-of-conference game in the Super Conference, correct?
Yes.
10 in-conference games. So now we're at 11. Or 9, actually. 9 conference games. So now you're at 10 games, and you have 2 more games to play. You can go schedule Hawaii. You can go schedule Colorado State. You can go schedule Boise State. I don't care who you schedule.
About the chips.
You can schedule CMU or Western.
All right.
You can still do that twice a year. And you're not getting punished for playing Bama, for playing Michigan, for playing Ohio State, for playing Georgia, for playing Clemson. You're not getting punished. It does not hurt you. And you are encouraged to win for home field and seeding purposes. This keeps the whole season interesting from week 1 to week 14. I think
I can already hear a bitch, and I don't get this complaint. I hear people already complaining, well, I don't want a 9-3 team with an opportunity to win a national championship. Well, why not?
Why the fuck not? The Giants won 2 Super Bowls. Fuck you, whoever you are. Why not? And forget if they win. And in college football, let's be honest, Alabama's only lost 8 times since 2015. Okay? The best teams typically win. There are 4 teams, 5 teams, 6 teams, maybe at most, that are national championship worthy right now, that have the talent to win a national title. What this does is it generates more revenue, obviously. It makes media much more happy. It makes talking about sports much more fun. It changes the game of college football. You're revolutionizing it. And one of the biggest things that I can't stress enough is you are not only making new traditions, but what you're also creating is more football. More football, more money for the kids, more money for the universities. I think it's a win-win, Terry.
And you're spreading the recruiting around, because I think what happens now is like elite athletes, they're like, okay, I'm only going to think about Alabama, Clemson, maybe Oklahoma, because that's a USA. That's the only shot I have at winning a national title. But then if you expand it and it's 16 teams or 8 teams, eight teams, just like,
well, if you're a 4-star,
I can win somewhere else.
Yeah, if you're a 3 or 4-star, now it's, oh, well, I don't have to go here. I can go to a Notre Dame. I can go to a Wisconsin. I can go to any team you can pick outside of the top 4. And be like, well, not only am I getting playing time, I'm going to be in the spotlight still. You know, one of the things college football players want and crave is playing in the conference championship game, playing in a college football playoff game, because that's the national stage. Everybody has their eyes on you. Everybody has their eyes on you.
You might even go to Iowa. You know, they got spanked.
So that's my pitch, Terry. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, the Browns bracing for an 8-game suspension for Deshaun Watson, what it means for the NFL and the Cleveland Browns. But before we go, I need to tell you about our good friends over at MyBookie. Bet from anywhere, anytime, using MyBookie, of course. Sign up today using promo code Woodward. If you haven't already, they'll match your first deposit. Get to MyBookie. Sign up today. Use promo code Woodward. And as always, if you struggle with gambling, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, we're excited to get back at it after a short little all-star break. And listen, in between, we were drafting best ball, fantasy football. You guys got to get after it. Get over there with us at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. You guys also got to get over there and check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, we got to start off this second half hot. Let's get after it. Listen, Tigers are playing the A's today. Actually, 2 games. I think both games go under. Both teams are at the top of the heap as far as unders go, as far as the season. Let's roll with it. Under both Tiger games. Oddstrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
If you are looking for somewhere to enroll your child, look no further than Academy of Warren. They have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and a soccer field. Their K-8 program features small classroom sizes, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, and much, much more. So enroll today at academyofwarren.net.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry Foster.
And the Czar.
The Browns are bracing for an 8-game suspension. Fair or foul? And what does it mean for the NFL?
I think the Browns should embrace for a 16 or 17 game suspension. They set themselves up. This is what the Browns are as a organization. They're losers. Deshaun Watson probably shouldn't even play. And the Browns put all their eggs in the Deshaun Watson basket. That's a huge gamble. And anything punishment they get, they deserve. So I think it was a stupid move to bring in a guy that's been accused by this many women of sexual misconduct. And the NFL had floated out, if he's traded from Houston, we're going to suspend him. They didn't say how long, but you knew this guy was going to be suspended. A lot of other teams, they didn't bite, but a bad organization did. The Cleveland Browns bit, and I hope that it bites him in the ass at the end of this.
If it's an 8-game suspension, I would be shocked, but I also get it because he did not play last year either. And I think it is fair to say, well, they have to take that into consideration. Is that fair?
Yes.
So
it's fair.
That's not only 17 games last year, it's another 8. I think that's appropriate if that's the context that's used. Having said that, Deshaun Watson's a phenomenal quarterback. Amari Cooper is now in Cleveland. They have talent, Terry. They have talent, and talent is not the issue in Cleveland right now. The issue in Cleveland right now is, what is your record going to be when he comes back? Are you 4-4? Are you 3-5, 2-6, or are you a winning team? Yeah. The Deshaun Watson. Fish, shut the hell up. The Deshaun Watson.
Where'd that come from?
It, man. It's impossible. The Deshaun Watson suspension, and let's say it is for only 8 games. If I told you they're taking last season into consideration, are you as upset with him not getting suspended for the full year, given all the accusations? And we have to remember, he's getting suspended. He will be suspended based on the NFL's Code of Conduct policy for players. He has brought the NFL into a bad light. That's just the reality of it. So is it 8 games or 17?
So
I told you
we're
8,
talking about a 25-game suspension,
essentially, including last season. Is that fair? Are you
probably? I'm not. I'm not in favor of death sentences for players. So if it's a 25-game suspension, I'm fine with that. But did he get paid last year?
Yes.
Okay, that's not a suspension to me. It's gotta hurt in the pocketbook. You shouldn't get paid. If we're talking about suspending people, that's not a suspension. That's a paid leave.
Yeah,
the difference.
I struggle with this one. I really do because
you got to punish somebody.
Yeah, you do, and I think he will be punished. But people also need to remember, just because he does settle doesn't mean he's guilty. As guilty as he may look, it doesn't matter. Settlements are typically not typically. They just are not a signature of guilt, an admission of guilt. They're just not. You settle for a multitude of reasons. You don't want the case to continue. It's dragging out for both parties. They're fatigued. Financial implications. Lawyer fees are going up. There's a multitude of reasons to settle in court. Having said that, when he is suspended, I'm okay with 8 games. And let's just move on.
I also think suspension is, we know our guy is guilty, but our guy is so important to the game, so important to this team, that some way, somehow, we got to get him on the field. And if it means paying a few $1 million, we'll do it. If it means sitting him down for 8 games, we'll do it. But the bottom line is, we want this guy, no matter how guilty or innocent he is, to be playing in the National Football League or the NBA or whatever it is, because he means so much to our league, this team, and the fans. So let's just get them out here, no matter how many people accuse them of stuff.
All right, well, when we get back, the ESPYs were last night. Terry, did you watch?
I watched. It's too long.
Too long? Well, wait till you hear what I did last night.
Ever.
Not necessarily. There are some good ones.
They're starting to shorten them a little bit now. A little bit.
We need to go to break. When we get back, we got some ESPYs talk, some jokes coming up as well. That's going to be fun. But before we go, I got to tell you about the judgment-free zone where you should be working out, and that's at Planet Fitness. Get to Planet Fitness today to sign up or visit planetfitness.com. Your fitness is essential. Get started today for $0 down, $10 a month. Again, it's a judgment-free zone. Take both your mental and physical health seriously and get to a Planet Fitness near you.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
When it comes time to getting your projects done on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. If you've got a big project coming up, Alta Rents has got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Terry, the ESPYs were last night. I'm not a fan. I think the last time I actually enjoyed the ESPYs was when Peyton Manning hosted it. And that was the last time I watched it.
That was like 5-6 years ago.
I know. That's the point. It sucks. Steph Curry hosted it last night, though, so I guess it was fine. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch much. I maybe tuned in for 30 seconds, and then it was something to do with, it's irrelevant what it was about, but I just turned it off, moved on with my life, started prepping for the show.
He's only the second NBA player to host it. Did you know that?
What?
He's the second NBA player to host it. LeBron was the first.
And Steph Curry made a little joke about that.
Yeah, he did.
So it was something to the fact that the last NBA player to host this was LeBron James after he lost in the NBA Finals. And then he just kind of said, I like this feeling better because obviously Steph Curry won the NBA title last year.
I dig it. They I think they did a solidarity moment for Brittany Griner, if I recall.
Yep.
The headline I saw.
No, it was more than a moment. It was like throughout the show. Bring back BG. We love BG. She's a political prisoner. So that was the theme throughout the whole show. And the other theme was Title IX, the empowerment of women's sports and women athletes. And I'm a woman. If it wasn't for Title IX, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now. And
doesn't Title IX also like cover a multitude of things, not just women's?
Yeah, but when we think of Title IX, we think of women's sports. And that,
yeah, I don't watch women's sports. I just don't. Sorry. I don't not think they should be there. I just don't watch them. I'm not a fan.
The only, I'm trying to think, what women's sport is entertaining?
Tennis and golf.
Is the men. It would be
only
tennis and golf.
Yeah.
Only tennis when certain individuals are at the top of their game.
Well, when Serena Williams was at the top of her game, I always watched.
Yep.
So that was my thing. So I think it's more about personalities. The tennis is different.
Yeah, but how do you compete if you're the WNBA? How? If women aren't watching your sport, how do you compete? I really want to know. How do you compete against LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis? How do you compete against that superstar power?
You don't, but what you do is you carve out your own little niche. For instance, the Mid-American Conference is not going to go away because none of those teams are as good as Alabama. They still play each other. They're competitive. It's fun. But you're not going to get the same audience. Just like in the WNBA, you're not going to compete against the NBA. You carve out your own thing. You get your segment of people who like your product and try to build upon that.
Yeah, but
everybody's not gonna get you, Adam. Then the NFL will get you. The NBA will get you. The WNBA may not. NHL may not. So what they do is they get as many people as they can. You play in smaller arenas. You get paid less. You have a smaller TV audience, but you still have it. Were you adamantly against the USFL this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I am. I think it's a garbage product.
It is a
and
garbage
if I'm honest
product.
with you, if you guys just want me to be honest, and you're not going to like what I'm going to say, I don't think the WNBA is a great product. I don't. That doesn't mean that women aren't talented at basketball. They would run the floor with a lot of people in this country. That's not the point. The point is it's not a good product. It's not promoted correctly either. And when I'm watching SportsCenter and I see a fucking dunk that's barely a dunk in the top 2 plays of the week, like, you're just insulting your own sport. You can't even get women to watch your own sport, and my goddamn camera froze. So what the fuck? So here we are.
Maybe you should try it.
Really? Was it that serious?
Jerk.
Yeah, you should.
Man,
try
shut
it.
up.
Not be a
What is
jerk.
it?
Was it that serious?
What?
What you just did? Was it that egregious where you had to do all this stuff?
No.
All right. What is wrong with you?
Everything. What's not wrong with him? There we go.
Set up.
He doesn't live anywhere.
Oh, God. Oh, God. You know, there's like, again, the product matters more than the individual, right? And some individuals carry a sport, right, and turn it into a product. The WNBA hasn't had that yet. You think Breanna Stewart coming out of college could change that? Maybe now, what's her name? The girl at UConn? Buchers?
Yes.
Maybe she's the one. There's going to be a female that maybe drives it and brings it into the next step or evolution of its game. As of now, I just don't watch. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's a good product. I think women's soccer, pretty impressive. I think women's soccer, to be honest with you, is better than the MLS. You want me to be honest with you? I think it's better than the MLS. I can't watch the MLS. I think it's a garbage product. This doesn't just apply to women. I think some men's sports are garbage, just like the USFL and just like the MLS. I think it's a garbage product.
Okay. Now, I don't watch the WNBA much, but I did watch almost an entire game.
Whoa.
I think it was like 2 weeks ago because of Candace Parker.
Ah.
I think, A, she can play, B, she's fine. So I watched.
I love you,
Be
Terry.
honest with you.
The honesty.
Never change, Terry. When we get back, we got we got an interesting college football discussion. Owen brought this to the table. Who is attending Media Day for the Big Ten this upcoming week? There might be some little hints at what could be happening in the future, maybe for a football program out in Ann Arbor, or it could all be smoke and mirrors, who knows. But before we get to that, I need to tell you about the Mulligan, the ultimate drink of the summer. Get a Mulligan, 8% alcohol mixed with iced tea, lemonade, gypsy, vodka. The Mulligan is the drink of the summer. Support Michigan distilleries. Whether you're on the golf course or hanging out with Alex or Terry smoking a joint, that's on you. Go have a good time and make sure you're drinking a Mulligan. And as always, drink responsibly.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new Field House. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
If you are as pasty white as Fish or Owen, head on over to Chili Peppers Tanning to get your glow on. That's where you find the cleanest salons in the D. They've got spotless sanitized rooms and trained certified tanning professionals. Don't forget, of course, to join the Pepper Club for all the best deals on unlimited tanning. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans.
Chili Peppers tan?
Terry,
Yes.
it's Friday Eve.
Yeah.
It is Friday
We love
Eve.
a good
now
Friday
we can say
Eve.
this.
What did you want to say?
I want to get something off my chest.
Do it.
I was really pissed yesterday.
Okay. At me?
No one here.
Oh, okay.
When we went home, we started to have our house cleaned again.
Oh.
We
Okay.
stopped doing that during the pandemic. Now, we have a bathtub that when you pull the lever forward, it's a shower.
Yeah.
When you pull it back, it comes out of the faucet. So anyway, the person who cleaned our house was cleaning the bathtub, and he turned on the water, and the shower came on. He got wet.
Oh boy.
So he got pissed at us and wrote a nasty note saying, you know, this is not rocket science. When you you should always have this turned on so that the water faucet comes on.
Should be saying it to himself.
Well, so he put in the letter that we were stupid. So that pissed me off. So I didn't get to talk to the guy, but he's stupid. If you're going
Yeah,
to,
I was going to say,
if
he
you're
says
gonna
not
turn
rocket
on
science.
a water faucet, check first.
Yes.
I clean the tub sometimes. What I do is I put the shower out, so then even if it's on, if I turn it on, I don't get wet. But see, my wife wants to give this guy a second chance. I don't want him in my house again.
He probably doesn't even want to go to your house again.
Huh?
He probably doesn't want to go to your house again. He called you stupid.
Prank him?
You should prank him. Mess with him.
And that's
What is he gonna be
essentially what
working
they
on this
did,
time?
though.
No. He comes in twice a month. I don't want him in my house because he pissed me off before my wife would let it slide. He came in driving this truck, talking about eliminate critical race theory and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't want this dude in my house because there are a segment of Caucasians, and they're mostly conservatives, who don't know what critical race theory is, or they've been given this
false narrative of
false narrative. And to me, what it is we don't want to deal with black history, and that pisses me off. Our history is not good, but it is our history. And so I don't want it to be eliminated. It's something we need to talk about. It's something that needs to be on the books.
What's wrong with that?
Huh?
What's wrong with history being acknowledged? I don't understand this at all.
For some reason, people don't want it to be acknowledged.
Why?
Because
it tells a story.
Here's the
when
story
we tell the
is.
story of the bad boy Pistons, we talk about the first few years where they weren't as successful. When we talk about Michael Jordan, we talk about him not being able to overcome Larry Bird and the Detroit Pistons. We tell the full story. You don't just tell the story of World War II without mentioning that Hitler killed a bunch of people and set up concentration camps.
Right.
Or he's going to eliminate that?
Let's eliminate 9/11.
Well, 9/11 didn't happen, but we ended up in Iraq and Afghanistan. Suddenly. Well, I don't know what happened, but we're just there.
Just for the hell of it.
Well, slavery just didn't happen?
Okay,
We didn't have a civil war?
Here's what they're upset about. They think that black people are pissed at white people's children for what happened in slavery. And that is so false.
That's so BS.
It is BS. But that's what they always bring up. So that's why my man had this, kill critical race theory. Because what they have been taught on Fox News, it's not even remotely accurate. It's not true at all. But it has taken on such a big life here in the United States that I think that a lot of conservative white people just want to eliminate our history because it's not good. Yes, we were in slavery. Yes, we were pissed about that. But I have never had a conversation with black friends about, man, them hunkies, man, they got us doing slavery. Let's go beat some up. We haven't had that conversation.
It's been, we're well past this, I believe. I'm not completely on the scene politically. I really don't know what the hell's going on in this country. I really don't care, to be honest. I've got enough going on in my life and here at the network. So
well, you better care because they're gonna come after you.
I don't. They can fuck themselves. Honestly, whoever wants to come after me, good luck. But I can at least, from what I know, and I'm using common sense here. All right.
I like that.
It doesn't take much to understand. Hey, you know what? We all make mistakes. We've all made mistakes, and one of the greatest lessons in history you can learn is learning from history, right? If you don't learn from your history, you make the same mistakes twice.
That is true.
There's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with teaching about good or bad history. We do this a lot with the Native Americans. I'm sure you all know. Let's just call it what it is. We all know in history class, we get to chapter 2 or 3, learning about the history of the United States, and we eliminate an entire race in less than a chapter. That's impressive. We don't tell the story. I get it. Whatever. But I'm just saying, there's
but we
nothing.
tell the story through John Wayne's
I just tell the story as is. It's okay. Again, what you should be teaching kids, I don't know. I'm not a goddamn educator. But at the end of the day, our history is what it is. And I think suppressing the information is not a good thing. I don't think suppressing any information is good at all. I'm still pissed to this day that they haven't released and declassified all the JFK docs. That pisses me off. That's something I want to know. And I'll probably never know. I'll be dead by the time it's released. I was really hoping Trump would release it. He said he was going to, but he didn't. He only released a little bit of it. Pissed me off. Anyways, we got to go to break. Mailbag time.
All right.
Get your questions in the chat.
Make sure you get some for Maddie
Make
today.
sure you get some questions for Maddie. She's a little spicy today, so should be fun. Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency?
I can. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness of mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Easiest game to beat Adham. Go to the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. That is home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. There's 2 ways to play, $12 open unlimited play, or you can reserve a private lane for just $120. Don't forget, of course, they have a $2 mystery beer machine as well as multiple full bars. So check it out at thefullingwarehouse.com.
All right, mailbag time. Let's get the questions in the chat. I'll start with a question from Nicholas. Best fantasy quarterback this year. I'm not going to give you the best one. I'll give you top 5.
Okay.
In no
go ahead.
specific order, these are 5. If you have them, I think you're going to be very happy this year. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson. I think those are absolute threats this year at the quarterback position. Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, you can probably get much later on in the draft. Herbert, you're going to have to go up and get. Same with Mahomes, same with Josh Allen, same with even Matthew Stafford. You're going to have to go up and get these guys, given the amount of offense they have. But you look at a Jalen Hurts, a guy that can get it done on the ground. Lamar Jackson, get it done on the ground. Those are valuable points in fantasy football. I think those are my 2 sleepers. Jalen Hurts and Derek Carr are guys I would consider.
Well, I'm going to answer the question the correct way.
Okay.
I'm going to say Josh Allen.
Okay.
First of all, I really like him as a quarterback. When you look at the teams in the NFL, there's 2 teams I think that should be hungrier than any other teams. It should be Buffalo and Green Bay. Those teams didn't make the Super Bowl last year. They were projected to by many people. Green Bay hasn't made it in many years. Buffalo hasn't made it in many years. And now you've got 2 organizations who think they're championship caliber. They got championship caliber quarterbacks, coaches, front offices, but they haven't won a championship. I think Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, of course we have to throw in the health factor, but I think that's going to be a hungry organization, and that's going to result in Josh Allen putting up a lot of points in fantasy this year.
Absolutely. Terry, question for you. Can you take Adham to the to Club Nicky's in Greektown? I think he'd have fun. The hell is that?
Club Nicky. See, I don't go to clubs. I'm not a club guy. Nicky's is a club that's over Nicky's Pizza. I have never been in there. I've seen people all dialed up and everything. No, the answer is no. I can't take Adham because I don't want to be there. I don't like clubs because you can't hear. You can't talk to anybody. So, and a lot of times they play music that I'm just not interested in. So the answer is no. Sorry, Adham. Nothing personal, but we're not going to Club Nicky's.
Hey, I don't mind it. Can we hear a story time from Fish, Adham, and Terry? Fish, how about you give everybody at home a story?
About what?
Anything you want. What'd you do yesterday?
What did I do yesterday?
Sorry.
Nope, sorry.
Tough luck.
I watched a little bit of the women's Euros yesterday,
good.
which England won, by the way. Spain took the lead, which everyone was shocked, and then England came back and won it. That was exciting. There's another protester yesterday. Can I talk about protesters? Because they're a bunch of idiots. Why do you storm the field? First off, the TV broadcast feeds are not supposed to show the protester except from like a really wide angle. So you're not even getting the time you want. And second off, you look like an idiot. Half the people who tied their stuff to the goalpost or whatever, their shirts are wrinkled, so you can't even see what they're protesting. Who's gonna go to your stupid organization anyway? Like, what does it matter when it says like please stop oil or whatever? You're just gonna look at that and say, okay, cool. Next. Like, it doesn't do anything for anyone.
Honestly, I have
like
no
when it
idea
says
what you
save
just
the
said.
animals or whatever, like people look at it
no.
and say, cool, but are you going to change? Be honest, are you going to change and save the animals? Chances are, sorry, probably not. Like, it's just reality. Like when they say do meatless Mondays.
I have a better story.
I have no idea what the fuck you just said, Fish, but that was brilliant. Wow.
Like when they say do meatless Mondays, are you going to do meatless Mondays?
Terry, what's your story?
I set
thanks for
my
blowing me
college
off. Really
football schedule this fall of games I'm going to go to.
Oh, no way.
Yes. So I have friends. They're big Michigan fans, so we're going to go to a Michigan home game in October, probably Michigan State.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that. I decided to go see my beloved Chippewas play. So I'm going to go. I want to go to home game against Bowling Green. But I want to go on a road trip, too. It's not much of a road trip, but I want to see them play at Toledo. I haven't been to the Glass Bowl in a million years. Last time I saw CMU play in Ohio was at Bowling Green. And I have a weird game that I'm going to go to, Duke at Kansas. Why? Because my son has a friend who plays for Kansas, and he said, why don't you come see me play? So I said, you want to go? He said, yes. So we're going to go see Duke against Kansas.
All right. Interesting.
Probably going to be a crappy game, but going to go there and bond with my son, get some ribs, and probably go to the Negro League National Museum. So that was what I had planned yesterday.
What's a hotter ticket? The WNBA Finals Game 7 or the last preseason game for the Detroit Lions? Preseason game for the Detroit Lions.
I'm going to say Game 7 of the WNBA because nobody wants to go to a preseason game.
Yeah, but I think they're higher.
Preseason games suck.
But I think they're higher in price just because you want to see your team win. Especially
No,
if
with
they're
the
2-0.
No.
You get those
don't
idiots
go
who are
there
like,
to
we can
see
go
your team
3-0 in
win.
the preseason.
The NFL knows they have a bunch of sheep in NFL cities, so they charge the same prices for a preseason game. And by the way, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Even if you have tickets, you don't show up. At least at the WNBA game, well, there's no Game 7 in the WNBA, it'd be Game 3 or whatever.
Game 5, I think.
There would be the arena would be close to capacity. I've gone to a bunch of preseason games in Buffalo, in Detroit, in Chicago. There's nobody there. Yeah, you got tickets, and that's only because you're trying to score tickets for the regular season, so you're saddled with these preseason games. So I'm going to say WNBA.
Yeah, I disagree completely. It'll be the preseason. But what do I know? All right, next question. When are we going to do story time with Maddie? Right now.
Did you have a story ready?
You already said you didn't want to hear my story, so you
We
can go
didn't
F
say
yourselves.
anything. Somebody asked for you in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't.
That
they
last
did.
person did not ask for you.
The one
but now
person
this
did.
person asked for you.
The next person did.
Did you tell a story?
No, but
No, he
they're
did not.
asking
Ask
you
for
for one.
yours
They're
first.
asking you for one.
Oh, that's right. You don't have any stories. 'Cause you don't freaking do anything.
That's right. All I do is.
High school stories. I liked your high school stories.
Do you like Adam's high school stories? Because that's the last time he ever did anything.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
What about the what's the name of your team? The Cheapskates?
The
or-
Ratz?
The Ratz. Yeah, the Ratz.
Well, tonight's the Space Dogs.
Space Dogs? And I'm going to go to a Space Dog. When's the next Space Dog?
Tonight. Tonight at
Is
Drake,
it
Drake Park.
625, Drake Park.
Okay.
I won't be there.
Well, I'm not showing up then.
I'll be there next week, but I work tonight.
Ah.
All right. Adam, what would it take to get Matthew Tkachuk? Nothing. Nothing. You're not going to get Matthew Tkachuk. I'll tell you why. Reportedly, he released 5 teams he's interested in. The Red Wings did not make the cut,
Nope.
so I don't expect them, one, to pursue him.
I thought they made the cut.
No, they're not part of the 5 that were reported last night.
Oh, okay.
Of the 5 teams that were reported last night that not only are interested, but he's interested in going to, the Wings did not make
And Steve
make the cut.
Eisman may not be.
Now, I don't blame
interested.
Eisman for not being interested. I think his team is settled. I don't think he's making any more moves. I think it's done.
He'll do a little something.
We'll see. It's Steve Eisman. Adam, have you watched women's MMA? It's very good. You would like? Yeah, I've watched women's UFC whenever it's on the main card. Yeah, I've watched a few fights. I think I was in Vegas when that Chinese chick fought the white chick.
Very
Rose.
descriptive, Adam.
Zhang and Rose.
Very
the
descriptive.
original one. Yeah, I was in
that's a good
Vegas
fight.
for that.
You know
was
who
a-
I like? I like
that was a great fight.
I like Nunez.
Ah.
But she just got her
Amanda
ass. Yeah,
Yeah, she did.
She's
just
fighting
lost.
not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah, Pena.
Just trying to
I'm
get
gonna
her
check
belt
that
back.
out.
Yep, next week.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have a good rest of your day. It is a Thursday. I'll be playing softball at Drake Park at 6:25. Feel free
What
to.
position you play?
I play third and second. Depends
right.
on the day. Depends on the day.
Okay.
Our softball team. I mean, I play with some really good guys, though.
Now, who's better, the Space Dogs or the Alley Rats?
I think Space Dogs would beat the Rats. I do. I think Space Dogs would definitely beat the
You're
Rats.
That's
saying
not saying
because-
much because I watched you guys lose 2 terrible games. So
Yeah, we lost by 1 run, but okay, that's fine. Maddie, shut the fuck up.
you tripped over third
Now,
base.
would the Space
I
Dogs
did.
win because
I
they
did.
don't have as many Arab guys? Is that what the deal
I
is?
tripped over third base, but she fails to mention I had 9 hits and 9 at bats. But you know, whatever. I suck. Yeah, I clearly suck. I'm
But
one
you
of the worst
tripped over
players.
Yeah, you still tripped over third base.
I'm one of the worst players on the team. Maddie's dog has PTSD just like she does. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
You're not wrong. We
We'll
both
see
have
you tomorrow.
anxiety up the wazoo.
We'll see you tomorrow. Terry, thanks so much. Hope you had a good show today.
I
Hope
did.
you
I
had
had
fun.
fun.
Owen, Alex, Fish, Maddie, thank you so much. We're out of here. Till tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for the good times.
Go to New Zealand.